On November 6th, 2018, over 350,000 voters showed up in the state of Michigan to decide on the direction they wanted this great state and our beautiful country to move in the next 2 years when they voted for the U.S. District 11 House of Representatives. Of these voters, 51.8% of you put your faith in me, Haley Stevens, to speak up for the hard-working men and women in our communities. Now again, we have this opportunity to decide on the course of action we want to take to keep this state and this country running smoothly. I urge you to put your faith in me once more. It's what the state of Michigan deserves. I will stand up for this state and its inhabitants as I have in the past. Michigan workers drive this state. I know this, and I believe this. It's the reason I held the position of Chief of Staff to the U.S. Auto Rescue Task Force in 2009 alongside the Obama administration and helped to save 200,000 Michigan jobs. It's the reason I serve on the Education and Labor Committee, a committee that stands for putting our workers first, giving every student the opportunity for a sound and top-notch education, making healthcare affordable for all, and holding our government accountable for their shortcomings, because yes, they are there and they are prevalent. I don't just join committees, I make things happen. In only the first 100 days of the 116th Congress, the committee has approved legislation to invest $100 billion to repair physical and digital infrastructure in our public school system. The committee also approved legislation to end gender-based wage discrimination and raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by the year 2024, giving 40 million hardworking Americans the raises they deserve. And let me just reiterate, that was only in the first 100 days. Give me 2 more years, and I will make even more happen for Michigan families and workers. I find joy and excitement for working for the people and giving a voice to the voiceless. I know our workers are at the forefront of economic success. I also know that our workers start somewhere. I see workers on playgrounds. I see future workers in lunchrooms. I see future workers riding their bikes at our local parks. These kids are our future, and their education is in dire need of attention. That's why I just announced my sponsored bill, the Building Blocks of STEM Act. I'm sponsoring this bill because I think funding should be allocated to the research on STEM education for our earliest learners. Educational method research is so important in order to see the effects these methods have on early childhood. Specifically, I think it's important to give our young girls unique opportunities to learn and research so they can be better prepared to make huge strides in science and technology in the future. While I put workers and education on my list of top priorities for the communities of Oakland and Wayne counties, I also know the importance of safety at work and at schools. The rate at which gun violence is climbing is astounding. It breaks my heart that when I grew up in Michigan schools, the only drills I had were for fires and tornadoes. Now in our schools, our children need to have practice drills revolving around school intruders and gun violence. We are in a scary, scary time where we have to teach our children as young as 4 in our preschools how to protect and barricade themselves should a bad person with a gun ever come into their school. Senseless acts of violence need to be prevented. We do this by allowing more research and more funding for studies behind gun violence and understanding the nature, causes, and consequences of this violence. In the beginning of this year, I witnessed and supported the Committee of Science, Space, and Technology in the implementation of the National Gun Violence Research Act. This act allows federal grants to scientific research to understand and prevent gun violence. I want to keep your kids safe. I want to keep our schools safe and our communities safe. This starts by doing all in our power to understand this epidemic and get to the roots of the issue. I know you have new options, and I have talented and qualified opponents running against me. But in the past 2 years, I've tried my best to give my voice to the voiceless and give my voice to the residents of the 11th District of Michigan. I've used my voice to speak for communities of Oakland and Wayne counties. I promise if you give me your vote, I will continue to speak up for workers and for our families. I will continue to encourage funding for healthcare, for education for all, for equal wages among the sexes, and for an overall increased quality of life for Michigan workers. Put your faith in me, Haley Stevens, and I again will not let you down. I will continue to work for you.